Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses. And this is Masonic Presidents of the United States of America from the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry by Albert G. Mackey. Masonic Presidents of the United States of America. The following list is arranged alphabetically for ready reference and briefly gives the available facts concerning the presidents claimed to be Freemasons. Adams, John Quincy, 6th President and son of John Adams, 2nd President. Born July 11, 1767, President 1825, died February 23, 1848. A native of Massachusetts, his name has often been mistaken for that of another resident of Boston. Brother John C. Hurl, Acting Secretary, St. John's Lodge, Boston, August 25, 1919, answering an inquiry of ours, copied the lodge record of December 5, 1826. Thus, Brother John Quincy Adams, a regular candidate for membership, was inquired for, and being well recommended, was voted to be balloted for, and on balloting was unanimously admitted a member of St. John's Lodge. It would seem from this that he did not receive the degrees in this lodge, but what lodge he was raised in is not stated. There is no reference to the presidency, and I think he was another Adams. Certainly the president was not then at Boston. The second session of the 19th Congress opened at Washington the previous day, and President Adams himself records that from December 4th to 6th, from early morn to late afternoon, he had no leisure for reflection or writing. However, there is on record his own emphatic denial of membership. Page 345, Volume 7, Memoirs, Lippincott. On October 25, 1825, in reply to the plain question, he writes, "I told Watkins he might answer Tracy that I am not and never was a Freemason." Buchanan James, 15th President, born April 23, 1791, President 1857, died June 1, 1868, received Masonic burial from his Brethren of Lodge No. 43 in his native state, Pennsylvania, on June 4, 1868. Brother J. Fred Fisher, Secretary of Lodge No. 43, furnished on August 16, 1919, the following Masonic record of Brother James Buchanan. He was made a Mason in Lodge No. 43 on December 11, 1816, entered by Worshipful Master Brother John Reynolds, and was passed and raised by Worshipful Master Brother George Whitaker, January 24, 1817. He was elected Junior Warden December 13, 1820, and Worshipful Master December 23, 1822. At the expiration of his term of office, he was appointed the first District Deputy Grand Master of this district. He was elected an honorary member of Lodge No. 43, March 10, 1858. He died on June 1, 1868. He was also a member of Royal Arch Chapter No. 43, Free and Accepted Masons, but the only record we have is that he was exalted on May 20, 1826. Fillmore Millard, 13th President, born February 7, 1800, elected Vice President 1848, and on death of President Taylor succeeded him July 9, 1850, and died March 8, 1874. Said to have received the degrees, but afterwards recanted during the anti-Masonic era in which he was active against the craft. See page 548, Annual Report, American Historical Association, Volume 1, 1902. No evidence of his Masonic affiliation obtained. In his official capacity as president, he attended the laying of the cornerstone of the Capitol extension by the Grand Lodge of the District of Columbia, July 4, 1851. See History, Federal Lodge No. 1, Washington. Garfield James Abram, 20th President, born November 19, 1831, President 1881, died September 19, 1881. Masonic Eclectic, September 1881, pages 430 and 431, published the following. Initiated November 22, 1861, passed December 3, 1861, in Magnolia Lodge No. 20, Columbus, Ohio, and raised in Columbus Lodge No. 30, by request of Magnolia Lodge, November 22, 1864. Affiliated with Garrettsville Lodge No. 246, October 10, 1866, remaining a member until 1870, and was chaplain in the years 1868 and 1869. United with Pentalpha Lodge No. 23, Washington District of Columbia, as a charter member, May 4, 1869, and so remained until death. By special dispensation was admitted to Columbia Royal Arch. Chapter number 1 in Washington, District of Columbia, April 4th, 1866, and exalted to the Royal Arch degree April 18th, 1866. Received the Red Cross and Templar Order in Columbia Commandery number 2 at Washington, May 18th, 1866. This commandery acting as escort from Washington to Cleveland with the remains after Brother Garfield's death. Received the Select and Most Excellent Architect's degrees February 2nd, 1871. Received the 4th and 5th degrees Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite in Mithras Lodge of Perfection number 2 at Washington, May 2nd, 1871, and the intermediate degrees to the 13th included during the year Brother W.L. Boyden, Librarian of the Supreme Council Records. These were communicated by General Albert Pike, and the 14th degree, January 2nd, 1872, with 4 other brethren, 3 of whom died before him, namely Francello G. Daniels, Robert M. Johnson, ex-senator from Arkansas, and Henry Harrison Bradley, the only survivor of the 5 being W.M. Pierce Bell, S.Q., lawyer, Washington City. Under date of September 2nd, 1919, Brother W.S. Lanfashik, Secretary Magnoha Lodge number 20 by letter, confirmed the above lodge references and passed Grandmaster Campbell M. Voorhees of Ohio, November 11th, 1921, also wrote explaining the division of the degrees between the 2 craft bodies in his city. During the Civil War times, Columbus Lodge and Magnolia Lodge frequently exchanged courtesies in the conferring of degrees upon soldiers in the service, and this was done in the conferring of the degrees upon General Garfield. He received his 1st and 2nd degrees in Magnolia Lodge, and his 3rd degree was conferred by Columbus Lodge for Magnolia. Grant Ulysses Simpson, 18th President, born April 27, 1822, President, 1869, died July 23, 1885. A letter in the blue and gray from Major Bryant S. Parker of South Carolina was freely copied in other journals and conveyed the impression that General Grant was a Freemason. Major Parker told of being taken to headquarters as a prisoner of war, that General Grant asked him if he was a Freemason, and that the prisoner soon convinced him of it and thereupon was promptly freed. General John Corson Smith attacked this story in the Rough Ashlar, a Masonic journal of Richmond, Virginia, and his essay was reprinted November 1895 in the Masonic Tidings, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and other magazines. Briefly, Brother Smith's finding, as in Proceedings, Grand Commandery of Illinois, 1908, page 165, is that the general was too much of a soldier and not at all a Freemason for any such affair. Jesse R. Grant, Simpson S. Grant, and Orville S. Grant, father and brothers of the general, were all 3 Freemasons. Simpson a member of Galena Lodge number 17 with Brother John Corson Smith, where the father, Jesse, visited on his trips from Covington, Kentucky, and Orville was initiated in Miners Lodge number 273, Galena, Illinois. General, or Captain Grant, as he was then known, came to Galena in 1859 and moved his family there in 1860. The father told General Smith that he knew his son would like to be a Freemason, and the subject was discussed between them on an excursion to Dubuque, Iowa, and on other occasions. General Grant was at home when Galena Commandery number 40, Knights Templar, was instituted in 1871 with Brother Smith as eminent commander. In the evening, President Grant received the brethren for a pleasant hour of conversation, and then the visitors returned to the asylum. At that reception, the President's favorable opinion of Freemasonry was expressed, and it was agreed that at the first opportunity he would sign a petition to Miners Lodge number 273, of which Brother Smith was then master. During the political campaign of 1872 and 1873, General Grant was again home, and Grand Master James A. Hawley agreed to make the President a Freemason at sight. But affairs of state recalled him unexpectedly to Washington, and the subsequent ill health and removal from Galena of Brother Smith brought the plans unsuccessfully to an end. The matter does not appear to have ever been revived. Harding Warren Gamaliel, 29th President, born November 2nd, 1865, President 1921, died August 2nd, 1923. From a letter written by the late Grand Secretary, J.H. Bromwell, and from the announcement sent out by the Grand Master, Harry S. Johnson of Ohio, on August 8, 1923, these details are obtained. Brother Harding was initiated in Marion Lodge number 70 at Marion, Ohio. On June 28, 1901, passed August 13, 1920, raised August 27, 1920. In Marion, chapter number 62, Royal Archmasons at Marion, Ohio, he received the Mark Master, Past and Most Excellent Master's degrees on January 11, 1921, and the Exaltation of the Royal Arch degree on January 13, 1921. In Marion Commandery number 36, Knights Templar at Marion, Ohio, he received the Order of the Red Cross and the Orders of Knight of Malta and Knight Templar March 1, 1921. In Scioto Consistory, Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite, he, the only candidate at that time, received all the grades from 4th to 32nd inclusive on January 5, 1921. He became a member of Aladdin Temple, Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, at Columbus, Ohio on January 7, 1921. By special dispensation, the Order of Veiled Prophet was conferred upon him at the White House, Washington, May 11, 1921, by E.W. Libby E. Schmid, C.P. Boss, and W.W. Germain of Callipolis Grotto. Brother Harding had been elected to receive the degrees in Marion Council number 22 Royal and Select Masters at Marion, Ohio, as well as the 33rd degree of the Supreme Council, Northern Masonic Jurisdiction, Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite. But death intervened. See Proceedings, Grand Lodge of Ohio, 1923, pages 10, 75, 87. Jackson Andrew, 7th President. Born March 15, 1767, President 1829, died June 8, 1845. He was elected Grand Master of Tennessee on October 7, 1822, and re-elected on October 6, 1823. But his lodge was not named, and in the proceedings, Grand Lodge of Tennessee, 1845, when his Masonic services were affectionately acknowledged. Pages 552 and 553, 570, 571, 578 through 580 of reprint. There is no more information than in the obituary notice prepared by Grand Chaplain Philip P. Neely, who says, page 578, "We have not received information as to the lodge where he was made a Mason, but learn that he was, for some time, during the early part of his life, in connection with one that met at Clover Bottom, held under the jurisdiction of the Grand Lodge of Kentucky. Philanthropic Lodge number 12 was granted a charter from Kentucky on September 18, 1805. See Doings of the Grand Lodge of Kentucky, 1800 through 1900, page 25, by H.B. Grant, Grand Secretary. However, the practice prevailed of lodges reporting their members in full to the Grand Lodge of Kentucky, and careful search made for us by the late Grand Secretary Dave Jackson failed to find the name of Andrew Jackson. Philanthropic Lodge number 12 ceased to be on the Kentucky roll in 1812, but Jackson was present as a Freemason at the opening of the lodge at Greenville, September 5, 1801, under a dispensation from the Grand Lodge of North Carolina, which possesses the original transcript of the minutes, showing that the senior warden named in the dispensation being absent, Andrew Jackson served as S.W. pro turn of this first meeting of Greenville Lodge number 43, afterwards number 3 of the Grand Lodge of Tennessee. Brother Jackson made the motion for the appointment of a committee on bylaws at this meeting under dispensation, but 2 others were assigned to that duty, and the probability is that he was only a visitor on that occasion. Another lodge at Nashville, chartered on December 17, 1796, number 29 of North Carolina, St. Tammany, afterwards Harmony Lodge number 1 of Tennessee, following the division into the 2 Grand Lodges, shows that Jackson was a member, but the records being incomplete do not determine the date of his initiation, but he became a resident of Nashville in 1788, and Brother William L. Boyden, Librarian of the Supreme Council, Southern Jurisdiction, Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite, finds Andrew Jackson a member as early as 1800 because he was present on March 24th of that year at the first meeting of Tennessee Lodge number 2, formerly number 41, under North Carolina, held in Knoxville, and was then credited as a member of Harmony Lodge number 1. Past Grand Master Charles Comstock of Tennessee believed him to have received the Royal Arch degree under authority of a Craft Lodge warrant and probably did not affiliate with any chapter, though he officiated as Deputy General Grand High Priest at the institution of the Grand Chapter of Tennessee on April 4, 1826, and is recorded later as present in Cumberland, Chapter number 1 at Nashville, assisting at installation of officers. Andrew Jackson took part in several Masonic functions and at Nashville on May 4, 1825, introduced General Lafayette to the Grand Lodge of Tennessee. The Charter of Harmony Lodge No. 1 was arrested on December 9, 1808, and this would leave General Jackson a non-affiliate, which may account for the appearance of his name in the records as a past master, without mention of any lodge connection. For much interesting information here summarized, we are indebted to past Grand Master A.B. Andrews, North Carolina, past Grand High Priest C.H. Smart, and past Grand Master Charles Comstock, Tennessee, W.L. Boyden, Librarian, Supreme Council, Southern Jurisdiction, Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite, Dave Jackson, late Grand Secretary, Kentucky. An article by Brother Andrews on Andrew Jackson the Freemason appeared in the New Age, Washington, January 1921. Jefferson Thomas, 3rd President, born April 13, 1743, President 1801, died July 4, 1826, on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, of which he was the author. While the assertion has frequently been made that Jefferson was a Freemason and that he attended the Lodge of the Nine Sisters, the Muses at Paris, no further details are given, and a letter from the Grand Orient of France under date of September 9, 1919 assures us that there is no evidence in existence of any visit to that lodge by Jefferson, nor does our own search through the history of that lodge, Une loge maçonnique d'avant, 1789 by Louis Amiable, discover any such allusion. Examination by Brother Julius F. Sachs and W. J. Patterson of the tableau of this lodge, the reglements of 1779 and 1806, and the annuaire of 1838, preserved in the library of the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania, disclose no mention of Thomas Jefferson as a member. His letter to Madison on secret societies makes no allusion suggesting any personal acquaintance of Freemasonry. Dr. Joseph W. Eggleston, past Grand Master of Virginia, was most positive that Jefferson was not a Freemason. From correspondence between Charles H. Callahan, also a past Grand Master of Virginia, and Brother E. E. Dinwiddie, Secretary Widow's Sons Lodge, number 60, Charlottesville, we find the latter examined carefully the records of his lodge, but found no evidence of Jefferson's membership. He also ascertained that when General Lafayette visited Jefferson at Monticello in 1824, the Freemasons of Charlottesville, only 4 miles away, entertained him at an elaborate social function and banquet. At the lodge meeting held before the banquet, the Marquis was elected an honorary member. Jefferson was then at home but was not present among the Freemasons with his guest, but he did attend and participate in the public function of the citizens. Grand Secretary Charles A. Nesbitt of Virginia wrote us, October 4, 1919, "To the best of my knowledge, Thomas Jefferson was not a Mason. According to the records of our Grand Lodge, he was not connected with the craft in this state." Johnson Andrew, 17th President. Born December 29, 1808, as Vice President he became President on the death of Lincoln in 1865. Died July 31, 1875. Initiated, passed and raised in Greenville Lodge number 119, now number 3, Greenville, Tennessee, sometime in May 1851. The records of Greenville Lodge were destroyed during the Civil War. The Grand Lodge files were also partly burned up when the Masonic Temple was gutted by fire in 1856. Past Grand Master Charles Comstock, who saw the name on the Lodge roster in the 60s, also added, "I am not sure about the chapter membership, but think he, Johnson, may have been exalted in Washington, chapter number 21 at Jonesboro. In that event, he was probably a charter member of Greenville, chapter number 82, chartered October 1st, 1868. We note his name on the roster of Nashville Commandery number 1, the date of knighting being July 26th, 1859. See Proceedings, First State Conclave, Nashville, 1859, page 27. This book contains a list with Andrew Johnson's name as of Nashville Commandery number 1, and among the names of those present at the formation of the Grand Commandery of Tennessee is recorded Andrew J. Johnston. Each name is not in both lists, and one might assume that these two names refer to the same brother, the names being slightly misspelled. However, Brother Comstock quotes Knight Templar Registry by Brother James D. Richardson, 1883, to show that Johnston was a farmer from Franklin. Scottish Rite degrees, including Prince of the Royal Secret, were communicated to the President June 20, 1867 at White House, Washington, by Brothers B.B. French and A.T.C. Pearson of the Supreme Council, Southern Jurisdiction. Johnson took part publicly in several Masonic functions, laying of cornerstones, etc., and at his funeral, Deputy Grand Master G.C. Connor officiated Coeur de Lion Commandery No. 9, Knoxville, also giving Templar ceremony. Lincoln Abraham, 16th President, born February 12, 1809, President, 1861, died April 15, 1865. Brother Edouard Courtier Latent, past Grand Master, Swiss Grand Lodge Alpina in the Annuaire International Masonic Association, listed Lincoln among illustrious Freemasons. See, for example, page 44, 1913, and page 59, 1923. William H. Grimshaw of the Library of Congress, also in History of Freemasonry, 1903, page 365, lists Lincoln as a Freemason. In a letter to us, April 5, 1917, this author says, "So far as my book is concerned, I quoted Monsieur Edouard Courtier Latent, PGM, Grand Lodge Alpina. I will further state that Mr. J.H. Brooks, who was Mr. Lincoln's messenger, informed me that Mr. Lincoln was a Mason. The degrees were conferred in an Army lodge attached to General Grant's army in front of Richmond. I wrote Robert T. Lincoln as to the matter, and he informed me that so far as he could find, there were no papers or other record among his father's papers to indicate that he was a Mason. Nothing further to support the claim credited to Brooks has been discovered by us. In the memorial volume published by the government at Washington, 1866, there are found the tributes of 44 foreign Masonic bodies, most of these plainly referring to Lincoln as a brother. An inquiry made by R.W. Robert D. Holmes, Deputy Grand Master, New York, was answered by Brother B.B. French from the Washington office of the Grand Master Knights Templar, April 21, 1865. Yours of the 19th is just received. President Lincoln was not a Mason. He once told me in the presence of most worshipful Brother J.W. Simons that he had at one time made up his mind to apply for admission to our fraternity, but that he feared he was too lazy to attend to his duty as a Mason, as he should like to do, and that he had not carried out his intentions. I told him it was not too late now. Well, said he, as likely as not I shall apply to you some day to let me in. See the Masonic Monthly, May 1865, page 351, Builder, Volume 3, page 93, Volume 10, pages 31, 286, 361. A published address by Dr. L.D. Carman, past master before his lodge, Harmony No. 17, Washington, District of Columbia, January 28, 1914, contains the B.B. French letter with much other data, including some peculiarly significant allusions made by Lincoln in Masonic style, a circumstance perhaps due to his early intimacy with past Master Bowling Green, at whose funeral Lincoln was asked by the fraternity to make an address, which he was unable to complete owing to emotion. His great antagonist, Stephen Douglas, was a Freemason whose framed petition, written in his own hand entirely, hangs on the wall of the Masonic Temple at Springfield, Illinois. For this information and other particulars, we are indebted to Brother Hal C. McLeod of Springfield. Madison James, 4th President, born March 16, 1751, President 1809, died June 28, 1836, mentioned in connection with the craft, but no proof offered. Brother Boyden found in the History of Richmond Lodge No. 10, Richmond, Virginia, where Brother Walthall records that on July 25, 1836, this lodge, with numbers 14 and 19, took part in a general tribute of respect to the memory of the ex-president. But this offers no evidence of Masonic affiliation. A letter not indicative of Masonic membership, purporting to be from Madison to a friend on January 24, 1832, is given in the Anti-Masonic Publications, page 22, volume 2, 1834 through 1879, by Joseph Ritner, governor of Pennsylvania. But the authenticity of the communication is not fully established any more than is Madison's connection with the craft. Both are doubtful. McKinley William, 25th President, born January 29, 1843, President, 1897, died September 14, 1901. A native of Niles, Ohio, he took his first degrees at Winchester, Virginia. In Winchester, Hiram Lodge, number 21, Secretary C. Vernon Eddy kindly supplying us the dates, as entered apprentice, May 1, 1865, fellow craft, May 2, 1865, Master Mason, May 3, 1865. This occurred during the Civil War, while Major McKinley was stationed there with the Northern Army. Observing the Masonic Brotherhood prominent under the afflictions of war, a number of Northern soldiers petitioned the local lodge and received the degrees. McKinley affiliated with Canton, Ohio Lodge, number 60, August 21, 1867, then became a charter member of Eagle Lodge, number 43, also at Canton, a lodge afterwards named after him. He received the Mark, Past and Most Excellent Master degrees in Canton. Chapter number 84, December 27, 1883, and the Royal Arch degree, December 28th that year. The Red Cross was conferred upon him December 18th, 1884, in Canton Commandery number 38, and the Malta and the Order of the Temple, December 23rd, 1884. A gold card presented to him by California Commandery number 1 of San Francisco for his reception there on May 22nd, 1901, came by gift after McKinley's death into the possession of the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania, through the kindness of Brother John Wanamaker, formerly Postmaster General. Monroe James, 5th President, born April 28, 1758, President, 1817, died July 4, 1831. Brother W. L. Boyden finds from the original records that Monroe was, on November 6, 1775, recommended to be admitted a member of Williamsburg Lodge number 6 at Williamsburg, Virginia, and that on November 9, 1775, Monroe was preferred, received, and balloted for, passed, accepted, and entered an apprentice. Where his other degrees were given is not clear, but as there is an old tradition oft repeated of him taking degrees in an army lodge that may account for them. Brother J.G. Hankins, Richmond, Virginia, mentioned in a letter his correspondence with the president of Williams and Mary College at Williamsburg, Virginia, that Dr. Lyon G. Tyler wrote a history of the lodge from the records, that this was published in the William and Mary Quarterly, 1892, Volume 1, Number 1, lists the name of James Monroe, afterwards President of the United States. Dalcho Consistory Bulletin at Richmond, Virginia, March-April 1915, tells of Richmond Randolph Lodge, Number 19, taking part in a memorial meeting in honor of James Monroe. A much more conclusive instance is the one given by Brother Boyden that the records of Cumberland Lodge number 8 of Tennessee, June 8, 1819, show a reception to Monroe as a brother of the craft. That the worshipful Master W. Tanhill, afterwards Grand Master, headed the procession meeting the President, and that he was given a private reception by the Masons. Admiral George W. Baird, past Grand Master, credits Monroe on page 125, Masonry in the Formation of Our Government by Philip A. Roth, with also being a member of Kilwinning Cross Lodge number 2 at Port Royal, Virginia. See also Quarterly Bulletin, Iowa, Masonic Library, October 1923, pages 121 through 123. Pierce Franklin, 14th President, born November 23, 1804, President 1853, died October 8, 1869. Has been claimed as a Freemason, but Brother W. L. Boyden in New Age, August 1920, asserted there was no record of it, nor has any since come to our notice. Polk James Knox, 11th President, born November 2, 1795, President 1845, died June 15, 1849, initiated June 5, 1820, passed August 7, 1820, raised September 4, 1820, chosen Junior Deacon, October 2, 1820, Junior Warden, December 3, 1821, all in Columbia Lodge number 31, Columbia, Tennessee, Lafayette. Chapter number 4, Columbia, Tennessee, gave him the Royal Arch, April 14, 1825. Roosevelt Franklin Delano, 32nd President, born January 30, 1882, initiated October 10, 1911, passed November 14, 1911, Raised November 28, 1911, Holland Lodge number 8, New York, NY. Received the 32-degree Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite in Albany Consistory, February 28, 1929. Cyprus Temple, Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, Albany, NY, March 25, 1930. Tripo Bed Grotto, Mystic Order of Veiled Prophets, Poughkeepsie, NY, at site October 30th, 1931. Greenwood Court, number 81, Tall Cedars of Lebanon, Warwick, NY, at site April 25th, 1930. Roosevelt Theodore, 26th President, born October 27th, 1858. As Vice President, he succeeded the assassinated President McKinley, 1901. Died January 6, 1919. A member of Mattencock Lodge number 806, Oyster Bay, New York, he was initiated January 2, 1901, passed March 27, 1901, and raised April 24, 1901. His Masonic interests were keen, loyal, and constant, and his intercourse with brethren abroad and at home most enjoyable. He participated wholeheartedly in a number of public Masonic functions. Taft William Howard, 27th President, born September 15, 1857, President 1909. Brother F. W. M. Hart, Secretary, Kilwinning Lodge number 356, Cincinnati, Ohio, wrote us as follows. William Howard Taft was made a Mason at site on the afternoon of February 18, 1909, by worshipful brother Charles S. Hoskinson, Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ohio. In the evening of the same day, Brother Taft witnessed the conferring of the Master Mason degree in full form on one candidate, the work being done by Kilwinning Lodge number 356. All of the above took place in the Scottish Rite Cathedral, 417 Broadway, Cincinnati, Ohio. He was given a demit from the Grand Lodge of Ohio and presented same to Kilwinning Lodge number 356, free and accepted Masons, on February 18, 1909, and he was elected a member of said lodge on April 14, 1909. At site in this case meant that the Grand Master convened a lodge of such assisting brethren as he deemed necessary, and the 3 degrees were given concisely on the one occasion. Taylor Zachary, 12th President, born September 24, 1784, President 1849, died July 9, 1850. Brother Boyden suggests that the story of Taylor being a Freemason arose from resolutions passed by Santa Rosa Lodge number 16, Milton, Florida, on the death of Brother Taylor, and from his presence when the Grand Lodge of Virginia laid a cornerstone at Richmond, February 22, 1850. But nothing conclusive has arisen to establish his Masonic affiliation. Tyler John, 10th President, born March 29, 1790, President 1841, as Vice President succeeding President Harrison on the latter's death. Died January 18, 1862. No support of consequence has appeared for the claim that he was a Freemason. The Virginia Masonic Journal, September 1919, published the following. In a public address before a body of Masons at a cornerstone laying a few years before his death, John Tyler used these words. It is not my good fortune to belong to your Masonic Society or to any of a kindred character. See also Bulletin, Dalcho Consistory, Richmond, Virginia, March-April, 1915, quoted in above. Washington George, 1st President, born February 11, 1731. Old style owing to reform of the calendar date now celebrated is February 22, 1732. President 1789, died December 14, 1799, initiated November 4, 1752, passed March 3, 1753, raised August 4, 1753 in Fredericksburg Lodge number 4, Fredericksburg, Virginia. Chartermaster of Alexandria Lodge number 22, Alexandria, Virginia, April 28, 1788, and re-elected December 20, 1788. This lodge, formerly number 39 under Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania, became number 22 under the Grand Lodge of Virginia, and after the death of Washington was in 1805 named Alexandria Washington Lodge. See article on Washington for additional details. A thoroughgoing treatise on Masonic presidents, vice presidents, and signers of the Declaration of Independence, Washington, is published by Brother William L. Boyden, Librarian of the Supreme Council, Southern Jurisdiction, Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite, And in The New Age, August 1920, Brother Boyden also deals with the subject. His list of Masonic vice presidents includes John C. Breckinridge, Aaron Burr, Schuyler Colfax, George M. Dallas, Charles W. Fairbanks, Garrett A. Hobart, Andrew Johnson, Richard M. Johnson, William R. King, Thomas R. Marshall, Theodore Roosevelt, Adlai E. Stevenson, Daniel D. Tompkins, all of whom are given the obtainable details of their respective memberships. Lists have also appeared in Masonic journals, notably the Quarterly Bulletin, Iowa Masonic Library, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, January 1917 and October 1923. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment, and if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Roses. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.